Paul, we covered it earlier, but it's the big news that's just broken. Joe Garner, it's great to have him in the building.
Yeah, really pleased. We've had to be really patient with it, but no, good news. I think he's a really good, strong, experienced addition to the group, and looking forward to working with him. I've heard a lot of good things about him, and let's see.
Social media, the fans are buzzing. I know you don't do that, but that's an indication that because they know him so well, again, that's right.
Well, I think everybody knows what he brings to the party. He brings experience, he brings nous, he brings a bit of nastiness. Goal scorer. I just think he's a right good sort to have in the building. I think you've got to get good people in there. If you can surround yourself with good people, then it can only do you good. So, as I say, looking forward to getting him involved. He'll come straight into the group for the weekend at Bradford, and let's see how we go.
With that and the business done already, you must be feeling pretty pleased with the squad you've got together.
I'm really pleased. I'm absolutely delighted. Firstly, pleased with the work that's gone on leading up to this point, so that we're not thrashing around at the last minute. Really pleased with the backing that the directors have given us to be able to do it. Now it's up to us and the players, staff and players, to go out for this second half of the season and go and keep producing the right results.
Again, you said earlier if there is room to move, you will, and the thing that could change it is if any of ours players go, that could still be a factor.
It could be, but listen, I'm not touting anybody around. I don't want anybody to go, unless I get inquiries for players that I think it's right for us as a club, us as a group, and right for the player long term. Then that's the only way I'll consider it. If that's not the case, then they'll stay with us and we'll reassess everything in the summer.
And you said way early on, I think it was in December, you didn't want to get to the 31st of January, you'd be scrabbling around. Work done, you've avoided that.
Yeah, we have, with what we've got at this moment in time. Now, we're aware of other players in different areas where we're considering we may be in needing strengthening. But at this moment in time, I'm probably going to say that I'm happy with what we've got. Certainly going into this game at the weekend against Bradford. And also looking a little bit further ahead, we've got Bradford away, we've got Hartlepool home, Rochdale away, Barrow at home, Harrogate at home. I think this little run of 5 games will give us a real good idea of where we are, what we can start looking to achieve for the rest of the season. So for the first couple, when we're still inside the window, we'll be assessing still and seeing how we get on. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of luck with injuries and we don't carry on in the vein that it's been for this first 20 odd games. But no, I'm happy with the group. I'm delighted with what they've done so far, and hopefully the new faces we've had in will give us some energy, give us real competition for places, and keep the results coming.
And a bit of a closer look at the budget, that might give you room for manoeuvre as well.
Yeah, it will. It's one of the things that I need to be aware of. I need to know where we are. I'm just waiting for an update on what's gone. I've got an idea. I don't just go and splash it around willy-nilly. So I do know where we are, and because of the bits of manoeuvring we did with Duncan Ida and with Sonny, with Finn going back, I know that we had some room for manoeuvre, and I think that's where we are. So, we'll see what comes. I do also know that the directors are prepared to find something if we need it, if we think we're really struggling and we're desperate. What I will say, I don't feel desperate at this moment. I feel as though we're in a good position, and hopefully that stays that way.
Tuesday night losing that was a shame, and for so many reasons. For Ben Barkley, for example, but for other lads to get minutes into legs.
Yeah, it was. But you know what I'm like. I can't affect the weather. I can't do anything about it. When I saw, probably starting on Sunday, when I saw what it was like, I thought it was going to be in doubt. So we were prepared for it. So the lads who were due to play in the game, they just got a programme to do back at home, some runs to do to make sure they got something in their legs, rather than dragging them back in late. It was probably 4:30 by the time we found out the game was off. So we just gave them a programme to do, and then we all come back in together and train today. Training's gone really well, really pleased with it. Again, really fortunate to have Gretna's surface that we can use, because we don't have anything here that's playable at the moment. So it's been a good session today. I've been really pleased with the quality that I've seen, and you can just see that bringing new faces in adds that competition for places. And we've had 22 outfield players training today. Obviously that includes Max Kilsby, Louis Bell and Sam Fishburn. So there's 19 players who are working to try and get 16 places in the group on Saturday, and that can only be good for us if everybody stays with the right mentality. And that's the conversation I had with them this morning, that I've been there before like they are. I know that you're looking over your shoulder and you're wondering if you're going to be involved. Any decision I make will not be on a personal level. It will be for that particular game. That will be the 11 I think that should start, and the 18 including the bench. And the next game it might be different, but everybody has to be prepared. Everybody's got to be ready for it, because when their opportunity comes, they've got to be prepared to take it.
There's so many different types of player for similar roles. That must be mouth-watering to be able to choose from that.
It's very good. Greg came up and watched us training today, and when I got in the car, I just said to him, to the car to come back, I said, go on and tell me what you think. And he just went, I'm glad I'm not you. He said, because you've got some decisions to make. But my reply was, yeah, but I like that. I want those decisions. I want to have choice. We've had situations this year where the team has picked itself. In fact, 13 or 14 places has picked itself, and then we're making it up with YTS boys now. I'm not being disrespectful to YTS boys, but it's not quite the right time for them. It's maybe a bit too early. So I want decisions to make, and that's the challenge as a manager, to make the right decision as many times as I can.
For Ben in particular, does that shift his return time back, having missed out on game time?
Not really, no, because he's been able to train. It would have been good for, sometimes the matches are more about psychological side of it, to get your head tuned back into playing games. The fitness side of it, we know when Ben comes back into the first team, he is going to be breathing out of his backside at about 60 minutes. So you just have to accept that. You know, we thought that with JK last weekend. We weren't sure how long we'd get out of him. We weren't expecting Amari to be able to start the game, so that's why the plan was always to get him on for 20 odd minutes. So it's a case of just building himself up. When he gets that opportunity, we'll try and get as long out of him as we possibly can, and we'll see what happens.
Nice to see Ryan and Taylor around the building, albeit Taylor on crutches, but it's good to have them here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is the start of their return to play. That's what I said to them both after their surgery, that looking forward to getting you back out there. Do all you can, live your life properly, do your rehab work. Let's get you back out as soon as we can and get you back available. And then when they're back into it, there's another 2 headaches for me.
So can I remind you that we hit that target that you set, 42 points. We've also scored 39 goals, which is what we managed the whole of the season in the league last time. Have we reassessed yet?
Reassessed? I don't know whether I've reassessed. I just don't tell anybody what my reassessment is. I think you have to set. You've got to set little targets like that. That's the first. I didn't even set that for the players, if I'm going to be honest with you. That was just something that we talked about as a group of staff when you look at months and you look at periods of games and you look at the season as a whole. That was always my thought, to get to 42 points as soon as we could. So we are there. Whether 42 is enough to stay up, I've no idea. But what I would say is that I'm also looking, and I still want to get 3 consecutive wins, which we haven't done so far this season. I think you have to set little goals. There's no point in me saying between now and the end of the season I want to pick up X number of points, because that's too far away. So we have to set little steps and little targets, and it's not, I don't want to say the old cliche as each game as they come, but really that's what you have to do. We've got to deal with Bradford first. If we deal with Bradford first, we'll go into Tuesday night against Hartlepool full of confidence, full of belief, ready to go and deal with that next game.
From Bradford's side, from what we saw on Boxing Day, there's been additions, and Mark will be wanting them to do things for their own reasons.
Yeah, of course they will. I mean, they're in a good position themselves, and he's made changes. You know, I've seen that Foles has left this week, and they brought Talaja Bowler in on loan. I've seen today they've just signed Adam Clayton. So come Saturday afternoon, it could be totally different. And again, this is part of my thinking around making sure it's majority of it on what we want to do. You know, so we have an idea of what Bradford will try to play. I'm looking at the games, and the pitch looks a tricky pitch to play on at the moment. I don't know what's happened to it. So we've just got to deal with it. It might affect the way that they've wanted to go about it. I just think we have to be right. If we go there, and I mean, what a brilliant game to look forward to. You know, we had a good result last weekend. We're going to Bradford, where I'm fully expecting it to be close to 20,000 supporters in there. We have got a brilliant backing going and following us again. So it's a great game to look forward to, and we've got to just make sure we go and show a really good version of ourselves.
It is one of those stadiums, isn't it? If you get out there and do it right, you can quiet that big crowd, and how will that be making the noise?
Well, that has to be our challenge to start the game. We can't afford to give them any lift, so we have to start front foot. We've got to start aggressive. We've got to go and be prepared to go and take the game to them, deal with whatever threats they've got. And if we can just silence that crowd, that will go a long way to helping us. I've got no doubt that our fans will be noisy. Got no doubt about that, because they have been everywhere we've gone. We've got to make sure we perform that keeps them noisy.
I know the rest of the press are waiting, so I'll ask one more. We're into that run now, Saturday, Tuesday. Important little run for points.
Really important. As I said earlier, I think this next little run of games up until the Harrogate game will give us a real idea of where we are, where we actually think we can go. Some good games at home where we need our fans to come and back us. Some good games away from home. The Bradford game, obviously a big crowd. The Rochdale game, there's history with me in Rochdale, so I want to go and do them all properly. And if we can come out of it with a really good points total, then we'll be in a good position to go and keep pushing on.